Why do some people act while others wait? What separates those who build their dreams from those who merely dream? It's not motivation. Motivation is a spark, fleeting, unreliable. Discipline is the fire that keeps burning. You want to force yourself to take action? Start here. Stop waiting for the perfect mood, the right moment, the burst of inspiration. Action isn't born from feelings, it's forged in habits. Think of a farmer. He doesn't wait for the sun to shine or the rain to fall just right. He plants the seeds day after day because that's what builds the harvest. That's discipline. It's the choice to move forward even when you don't feel like it. Let me ask you, how many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? Raise your hand if you've ever pushed something off, waiting for a wave of energy that never came. Come on, be honest. We've all done it, but tomorrow doesn't owe you anything. It's just another day unless you make it count. The truth is, action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you take that first step, no matter how small, you ignite a chain reaction. You start a business by writing one email. You get fit by doing one push-up. You write a book by typing one sentence. Small steps taken consistently build empires. Consider this: a bricklayer doesn't wait for inspiration to lay bricks. He shows up, places one brick, then another, then another. Each brick seems insignificant, but over time those bricks become a wall, a house, a legacy. That's what discipline does. It stacks your efforts into something solid. But here's the catch. You've got to start. Not next week, not when you're ready, right now. What's one thing you've been putting off? A phone call, a workout, a conversation? Name it in your mind. That's your first brick. Lay it today. Now let's get practical. Discipline isn't magic. It's a system. First, control your time. Block it out like it's sacred. If you don't decide how your day unfolds, someone else will. Say you want to write. Carve out 30 minutes every morning. No excuses, no distractions. Turn off the phone, close the door. That's your time to act. Second, shrink the task. Big goals scare you into inaction. Want to run a marathon? Don't think about 26 miles. Just put on your shoes and jog for 5 minutes. Make it so easy you can't say no. Third, track your progress. Write down what you did each day. A check mark on a calendar, a note in a journal. It's proof you're moving. Those marks add up, and they remind you who you're becoming. But let's talk about resistance. You know that in your head, the one that says, "I'm too tired," or "this can wait." That's not you. That's inertia, the enemy of action. Fight it with a simple rule, the 5-second rule. When you think of something you need to do, count backward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Stand up, grab the pen, make the call. Don't give that a chance to talk you out of it. I knew a woman who wanted to start a bakery. She was terrified, overwhelmed, stuck in a job she hated. But every day she took one tiny action. One day she wrote a recipe. The next she priced out ingredients. Then she baked a sample batch. Within a year she had a storefront. Why? Because she didn't wait for courage. She acted, and courage followed. Discipline also means saying no. Your time is finite. Every yes to a distraction is a no to your dream. A man I met years ago wanted to build a consulting business. He was talented but scattered, always chasing side projects, saying yes to every favor. He started guarding his time like a treasure. He said no to late-night TV, to endless meetings, to anything that didn't move him closer to his goal. Within 2 years, he was speaking on stages across the country. What are you saying yes to that's stealing your focus? Cut it out. Be ruthless. Your future deserves it. Now, let's address the myth of perfection. You don't need to be perfect to start. You just need to start. A painter doesn't wait for the perfect brush or the perfect light. He dips the brush and makes a stroke. It might be messy, but it's a beginning. Action refines itself. Your first attempt at anything, a business plan, a speech, a workout, will be rough. That's okay. Rough is better than nothing. A friend of mine launched a clothing line. His first designs, not great, but he sold them anyway, learned from feedback and kept going. Today his brand is in stores nationwide. He didn't wait for perfection. He acted, adjusted, and grew. Here's a challenge for the next 7 days. Pick one task you've been avoiding. Make it specific. Not get healthy, but walk 10 minutes every morning. Do it daily, no matter what. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up. Just start again. Track it. Feel the momentum build. You'll notice something: the more you act, the less you need to force it. Discipline becomes a habit, and habits become your life. But discipline isn't just about tasks, it's about who you're becoming. Every action you take is a vote for the person you want to be. Want to be a leader? Act like one today. Want to be healthy? Make one healthy choice now. Want to be wealthy? Save $1. Invest a minute in learning. Each choice shapes your identity. A student I knew struggled with confidence. He was shy, afraid to speak up. He started forcing himself to ask one question in every class. Just one. Over months, those questions built his presence. Today, he's a teacher, inspiring others. His actions didn't just change his habits, they changed him. Let's talk about environment. Your surroundings shape your actions. If you're trying to eat better, but your kitchen is full of junk food, you're fighting a losing battle. Set yourself up to win. Clear the clutter from your desk if you want to focus. Keep your running shoes by the door if you want to exercise. A businessman I know wanted to read more. He put a book on his nightstand and removed the TV from his bedroom. Small change, big impact. He's read 50 books in 2 years. What's one thing you can change in your space to make action easier? Do it today. Discipline also thrives on repetition. Think of it like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But start small. If you try to overhaul your life overnight, you'll burn out. A woman I met wanted to get organized. Her house was chaos, her schedule a mess. She didn't tackle it all at once. She started with one drawer, cleaned it, organized it, kept it that way. Then another, then her desk. Over a year, her entire life transformed. Small, repeated actions built a disciplined mind. Now let's be real, discipline isn't always fun. There are days you'll want to quit, days when the couch calls louder than your goals. That's when you lean on commitment. Commitment isn't a feeling, it's a decision. A marathon runner doesn't feel like running every day, but she laces up her shoes because she's committed to the finish line. What are you committed to? Name it. Write it down. Let it anchor you when the excuses creep in. As you build discipline, you'll find something remarkable. Freedom. Discipline doesn't chain you. It liberates you. When you control your actions, you control your life. You're no longer a victim of whims or circumstances. You're the architect of your future. A young man I knew was stuck in a dead-end job. He dreamed of owning a gym but felt trapped. He started disciplining himself, saving money, studying fitness, networking after hours. It wasn't easy, but step by step, he built his dream. Today he runs 3 gyms. Discipline gave him the freedom to live on his terms. So where does this leave you? With a choice. You can keep waiting for motivation, hoping for a perfect moment that never comes. Or you can choose discipline, laying one brick at a time, building a life of action. But here's the hard truth. Choosing discipline means facing yourself. It means confronting the fears, the doubts, the lazy habits that hold you back. That's not easy. It's a battle, but it's a battle worth fighting. Because on the other side of that struggle is the life you want, the life you're capable of, the life you deserve. What's stopping you from acting right now? Be honest. What's the real reason you haven't started that project, made that call, or taken that step? If you're like most people, it's not time or resources. It's fear. Fear of failing, of looking foolish, of not being good enough. Or maybe it's excuses. Those clever stories you tell yourself. I'm too busy. I'm not ready. I'll do it later. Discipline, as we talked about, lays the bricks. But fear and excuses are the walls that keep you from even picking up the tools. To force yourself to take action, you've got to fight this battle within. It's you against you, and the stakes are your future. Let's get real. Fear isn't just a feeling, it's a thief. It steals your dreams, your potential, your time. But here's the truth. Fear doesn't mean stop, it means go. Think of a farmer facing a storm. He knows the winds might ruin his crops, but he plants anyway. Why? Because inaction guarantees failure, but action gives him a chance. Fear is a signal you're on the edge of growth. When you feel it, you're close to something that matters. So what's one thing you're afraid to do? Raise your hand if you've got something in mind. A goal, a conversation, a risk. Come on, own it. That fear is your map. It's pointing you to where you need to act. Now let's talk about excuses. They're fear's best friend, dressed up as logic. I don't have enough experience. The market's not right. I'm not talented enough. Sound familiar? Excuses are lies you believe because they're comfortable. They let you stay stuck without feeling guilty. But every excuse you make is a brick in a wall between you and your goals. A woman I knew dreamed of opening a cafe. For years she said, I don't have the money, or I don't know enough about business. One day she got fed up. She started small, sold coffee at a local market. Learned as she went. Today her cafe is thriving. She didn't wait for perfect conditions. She shattered her excuses and acted. Here's a question. What's your favorite excuse? Think about it. What story do you tell yourself to avoid action? Write it down in your mind. Now challenge it. If you say, I don't have time, track your day. You'll find hours wasted on distractions. If you say, I'm not qualified, look at history. Some of the greatest successes came from people who started unprepared. A man I met wanted to be a public speaker but thought, I'm not charismatic. He started anyway, practicing in front of a mirror. Then small groups. Now he speaks to thousands. Excuses don't hold up when you face them head on. So how do you break through? First, reframe fear. It's not your enemy. It's your compass. When you feel scared, it means you're touching something important. Use that energy. A student I knew was terrified of failing exams. Instead of freezing, she used that fear to fuel her study sessions. She'd say, if I'm scared, I'm studying harder. She graduated top of her class. Fear became her motivator, not her jailer. Try this next time you feel fear. Name it. Say, I'm scared, and I'm doing it anyway. Then take one small step. Send the email. Make the sketch. Run the mile. Action shrinks fear. Second, act immediately. Excuses thrive in delay. The longer you wait, the louder they get. Use the 2-second rule. When you think of something you need to do, act within 2 seconds. Stand up. Grab the pen. Open the document. A friend of mine wanted to start a fitness routine, but kept saying, I'll join a gym next month. One day he just put on his shoes and walked around the block. That walk became a daily habit, then a gym membership, then a marathon. 2 seconds of action broke years of excuses. What's one thing you can do in the next 2 seconds? Do it as soon as you leave here. Third, write down your fears and counter them. This is powerful. Take a piece of paper. List what scares you about acting, failing, rejection, criticism. Then next to each fear, write one piece of evidence from your life where you overcame something similar. Maybe you failed a test, but passed the next one. Maybe you were rejected, but found a better opportunity. A businessman I knew was afraid to pitch his idea to investors. He wrote down his fear. They'll laugh at me. Then he countered it. I pitched to a small client last year, and they loved it. That exercise gave him the confidence to pitch. And current state is a subarray of the state vector of a quantum system, where the state is a vector representing the system state in a Hilbert space, and a subarray is a subset of the state vector's components. This allows us to focus on specific parts of the system, such as a particular qubit or a subset of qubits, while ignoring others. Why do you do what you do? I mean, really, what's the reason you get out of bed, face the grind, push through the fears and excuses we just talked about? If you can't answer that, you're like a ship without a compass, drifting wherever the wind takes you. Clarity of purpose. Knowing your why is the fuel that forces you to take action. It's the anchor that keeps you steady when discipline wavers and fear creeps in. Without it, your efforts are scattered, your motivation fades, and your actions stall. But when you know your why, every step you take has meaning, every sacrifice makes sense, and action becomes unstoppable. Start with a question. What's one thing you want to achieve this year? Raise your hand if you've got something in mind. A business, a healthier body, a stronger relationship. Come on, don't be shy. Now ask yourself, why does that matter to you? Not the surface answer like I want to make money or I want to look good. Dig deeper. Is it to provide for your family? To prove to yourself you can do it? To leave a legacy? If you don't know, you're building a house without a blueprint. Clarity isn't just a nice idea. It's the foundation of action. Think of a sailor navigating rough seas. He doesn't just sail aimlessly. He's got a destination, a star to guide him. Your why is that star. It gives direction to your discipline, purpose to your courage. A woman I knew wanted to start a nonprofit. She wasn't clear on why at first, just thought it'd be nice. She stalled, overwhelmed by fear and excuses. Then she connected to her reason. Her brother had struggled with addiction, and she wanted to help others like him. That clarity transformed her. She worked late nights, faced rejections, learned skills she didn't have. Today, her organization helps hundreds. Her why gave her the strength to act. Now, let's be honest. Clarity isn't easy. It takes work to know what drives you. Life's noisy, full of distractions, other people's expectations, shiny goals that sound good but don't matter. How many times have you chased something because it looked impressive, only to lose steam? I've seen it over and over. People start businesses, diets, projects, then quit. Not because they lack discipline, but because they're climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall. Clarity aligns your actions with what truly matters to you. So how do you find your why? Start by asking hard questions. What do you value most? Family? Freedom? Impact? Write down 3 things that matter to your core. Not what your parents want. Not what society cheers for. Your values. A man I met was stuck in a corporate job. Miserable but well paid. He started reflecting and realized he valued creativity and helping others. His why became clear: to teach art to kids. He left his job, started small, and now runs a thriving art school. His clarity didn't make the path easy, but it made it worth walking. Next, connect your goals to your values. Say you want to get fit. Why? Maybe it's to have energy for your kids, or to feel confident in your own skin. That's your why. Write it down. Make it specific. I want to be healthy so I can play with my children without getting tired. That's not vague. It's vivid, personal, motivating. A friend of mine wanted to save money. He struggled until he tied it to his why: to buy a home for his aging parents. Every dollar saved became a step toward that house. He cut expenses, worked extra hours, and last year he handed his parents the keys. Clarity turned his goal into a mission. Here's a practical step. Create a why statement for your biggest goal. Take that thing you raised your hand for earlier. Write 1 sentence. I want to do your goal because your reason. Make it emotional, not just logical. I want to start a business because I want to build a future where my family never worries about money. Read it daily. Post it where you'll see it. Your mirror, your desk, your fridge. Let it remind you why you're fighting. A student I knew did this. She wanted to graduate college but kept procrastinating. Her why was to honor her late mother, who never had the chance to study. That statement pushed her to study when she wanted to quit. She graduated with honors. Clarity also means knowing what to say no to. When your why is clear, you stop chasing every opportunity. A businessman I knew was spread thin. Consulting, investing, volunteering. He was busy but not effective. He sat down, defined his why: to create a legacy for his community. That focus let him say no to side gigs, and yes to projects that aligned with his purpose. His impact grew, and so did his peace of mind. What's one thing you're doing that doesn't match your why? Cut it. Your time is too valuable for detours. Let's talk about goals. Clarity demands specificity. Vague goals lead to vague actions, and vague actions lead to nothing. I want to be successful isn't a goal. It's a wish. I want to earn $10,000 a month by selling handmade furniture within 2 years is a goal. Break it down further. I'll make 1 piece this week, photograph it, and list it for sale. That's actionable. A woman I knew wanted to write a book. For years she just wanted it. Then she got clear. I want to write a memoir about my travels to inspire others. She set a goal to write 500 words a day. 2 years later, her book was published. Specificity turned her dream into reality. Try this. Take your big goal and break it into 3 smaller steps. You can do this month. Want to start a bakery? Step 1. Research recipes this week. Step 2. Bake a test batch next week. Step 3. Get feedback from friends by month's end. Write these steps down. They're your roadmap. A young man I knew wanted to be a musician, but felt overwhelmed. He got clear on his why: to share his music with the world. He broke it down. Learn 1 song, record a demo, share it with 10 people. Those steps led to gigs, then a record deal. Clarity made his path tangible, but clarity isn't a one-time thing. Life changes, and so do you. Revisit your why regularly. Every 6 months, sit down and ask, is this still what drives me? A teacher I knew loved her job, but felt burned out. She reflected and realized her why had shifted from teaching to mentoring. She started a coaching business, focusing on helping young professionals. That shift reignited her passion. Check in with yourself. Your why today might not be your why tomorrow, and that's okay. Just keep it clear. Here's a challenge. Spend 10 minutes tonight writing your why for 1 goal. Make it raw, honest, tied to your values. Then list 3 small actions you'll take this week to move toward it. Share it with someone you trust. Saying it out loud makes it real. A friend of mine did this. He wanted to run a marathon but kept stalling. His why was to show his kids what commitment looks like. He wrote it, shared it with his wife, and started running 10 minutes a day. He crossed the finish line last year. Kids cheering. Clarity gave him purpose. Action made it happen. Clarity also protects you from comparison. When you know your why, you stop measuring yourself against others. A painter I knew struggled because he wasn't famous, like others in his field. He redefined his why: to create art that brought joy to his community. That focus freed him. He started selling locally, teaching classes, building a following. His success wasn't global fame. It was meaningful impact. Your why is yours. Own it, and let it guide your actions.
Now, let's address doubt. Even with a clear why, you'll question yourself. That's normal. The key is to act through the doubt. A woman I knew wanted to launch a catering business. Her why was to share her culture's food with the world, but she doubted her skills, her timing, everything. She started anyway, catering small events. Each job built her confidence. Today, she's booked months in advance. Her why kept her moving when doubt tried to stop her. When you doubt, go back to your why. Let it pull you forward. Clarity also amplifies discipline. When you know why you're waking up early, saying no to distractions, or pushing past fear, it's easier to stay committed. A man I met wanted to learn a new language. His why was to connect with his grandparents in their native tongue. That purpose made the hours of study, the flashcards, the mistakes bearable. He's fluent now, sharing stories with his family. His why turned discipline into joy. What's your why strong enough to make the hard days worth it? Here's another tool. Visualize your why. Close your eyes and see the outcome of your goal. Not just the result, but the reason behind it. Want to start a business? See your family secure, your legacy growing. Want to get healthy? See yourself full of energy, living fully. A runner I knew used this. His why was to live long for his daughter. He'd visualize her wedding, him dancing with her. That image got him out the door on cold mornings. He's still running, stronger than ever. Try it, make your why vivid, and it'll pull you into action. Let's wrap this with the truth. Clarity isn't enough on its own. Knowing your why won't magically make you act. You still need discipline to lay the bricks, courage to face the fears, but clarity is the spark that ties it all together. It's the reason you keep going when it's tough, the light that shows you where to step. So take that why you've named, those steps you've planned, and act on them. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because when you're clear on why you're fighting, no fear, no excuse, no doubt can hold you back. How do you keep going when the spark of clarity fades? You've got discipline. You've faced your fears. You know your why. But what happens when life gets messy? When the daily grind threatens to derail you? The answer is systems. Systems are the scaffolding of success. The routines and structures that turn your intentions into results. Without them, your actions are like seeds scattered on rocky ground. Some might grow, but most won't last. With systems, you build momentum, making action not just possible, but inevitable. It's time to stop relying on willpower and start structuring your success. Let's start with a question. What's one goal you're struggling to stick with? Raise your hand if you've started something, a workout plan, a side business, a hobby, and then let it slip. Come on, we've all been there. The problem isn't your desire or your clarity, it's the lack of a system to keep you moving. Think of an athlete training for a championship. She doesn't just show up and hope to win. She has a schedule, workouts, meals, rest, all planned to the minute. That's her system. It's what carries her from dream to victory. Your goals need the same structure. Systems are about making action automatic. Willpower is finite. It runs dry when you're tired, stressed, or distracted. But a system, it's like a riverbed guiding the water. It keeps you flowing, even on tough days. A woman I knew wanted to write a novel. She had the why to share her family's story, and she'd overcome her fear of failure. But she kept stalling, writing only when she felt like it. She built a system, 30 minutes every morning, coffee in hand at her kitchen table, no excuses. That routine turned into 200 pages in a year. Her system made action her default. So how do you create a system? First, simplify your environment. Your surroundings either help or hinder you. If you want to eat healthier, stock your kitchen with good food and clear out the junk. If you want to focus, keep your workspace uncluttered, your phone out of reach. A man I met wanted to read more. He kept books on his nightstand, not a TV in his bedroom. Small change, big impact. 50 books in 2 years. What's one thing in your space that's pulling you off track? Fix it today. Make your environment a partner in your success. Next, shrink the action. Big tasks paralyze you. Small ones don't. This is the 2-minute rule. Start with something so easy you can't say no. Want to run a marathon? Don't think about 26 miles. Just lace up your shoes and walk for 2 minutes. Want to start a business? Don't stress about the whole plan. Just write one idea in 2 minutes. A friend of mine wanted to learn guitar. He was overwhelmed, always too busy. He started with 2 minutes a day, strumming one chord. That grew into songs, then gigs. 2 minutes became a system that changed his life. What's your 2-minute action? Name it now. Here's another key. Stack your habits. Tie a new action to something you already do. You brush your teeth every morning, right? Use that as an anchor. Want to journal? Write 1 sentence right after brushing. Want to exercise? Do 5 push-ups before your morning coffee. A woman I knew wanted to meditate, but kept forgetting. She paired it with her evening tea. 5 minutes of calm while the kettle boiled. That system turned into a daily practice that transformed her stress levels. What's one habit you can stack onto something you already do? Make it part of your routine, starting tomorrow. Let's talk about scheduling. Systems need structure, and structure needs a calendar. Block out time for your goals, like they're non-negotiable appointments. A businessman I knew wanted to grow his company, but was always too busy. He started reserving 1 hour every morning for strategy. No meetings, no distractions. That hour became his system for planning, learning, and acting. Within a year, his revenue doubled. Treat your goals like meetings with your future self. What's one time slot you can dedicate to your goal? Put it in your calendar now. Now, let's address consistency. Systems work because they compound. Small actions, done regularly, create massive results. Think of a snowball rolling downhill. It starts tiny, but grows unstoppable. A student I knew wanted to improve her grades. She didn't cram or overhaul her life. She built a system, 20 minutes of review every night, flashcards for key concepts. Over a semester, those minutes turned her from a C student to an A student. Consistency isn't flashy, it's powerful. What's one small action you can commit to daily? Start it and watch it grow. But systems aren't just about tasks. They're about mindset. You've got to design your life to support your goals. This means saying no to what doesn't serve you. A man I met was juggling too much. Work, hobbies, favors for friends. He wanted to start a fitness routine but had no time. He built a system by cutting out low-value commitments. He said no to late-night hangouts, limited meetings, and focused on his workouts. That system gave him not just fitness, but control over his life. What's one thing you can say no to make room for your system? Be ruthless. Your goals deserve priority. Here's a practical tool, the habit tracker. Get a notebook or a calendar. Every day you do your small action, mark it with a check. Missed a day? Leave it blank, but don't quit. A woman I knew wanted to save money. Her system was simple. Transfer $5 to savings every day. She tracked it on a chart. Each check mark a win. Those $5 transfers added up to a down payment on a car. Seeing progress fuels momentum. Try it, pick one action, track it for 30 days. What will you track? Decide now and start tonight. Let's talk about triggers. Systems need cues to remind you to act. A trigger is anything that prompts your habit. Want to write? Keep a notebook on your desk. Seeing it triggers the action. Want to exercise? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. A friend of mine wanted to practice public speaking. His trigger was his morning mirror. He'd give a 1-minute speech to his reflection every day. That system led to confidence, then paid speaking gigs. What's one trigger you can set up to cue your action? Make it visible, make it work. Now let's be real, systems fail sometimes. Life throws curveballs, and you'll miss a day or two. That's okay. The key is to never miss twice. One missed workout isn't a crisis. 2 becomes a pattern. A man I knew was building a photography business, but struggled with consistency. He'd skip days of practice, then weeks. He adopted the never miss twice rule. If he skipped a day, he'd force himself to shoot one photo the next day, no matter what. That system kept him on track, and now his work's in galleries. When you slip, what's your plan to get back? Commit to never missing twice. Systems also need flexibility. Life changes, and your routines must adapt. A woman I knew had a system for painting, 2 hours every evening. Then she had a baby, and evenings were chaos. She adjusted 20 minutes during nap time, sketchbook by the crib. That new system kept her creating, and she's now selling her art. Review your system every month. Is it still working? If not, tweak it. What's one adjustment you can make to fit your life right now? Don't wait, adapt today. Here's a challenge. Build one system this week. Pick one goal, one small action, and make it automatic. Want to learn a language? Spend 5 minutes a day with a flashcards app, right after breakfast. Track it, set a trigger, never miss twice. Share your plan with someone. It makes it real. A student I knew did this for studying. His system was 15 minutes of math every night, flashcards by his bed. He went from failing to acing his exams. Your system doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to start. What's your system? Build it now. Let's talk about momentum. Systems create it, and momentum changes everything. Once you're rolling, action feels easier. A man I knew wanted to start a bakery. He built a system, bake one recipe every weekend, get feedback, improve. At first it was hard, but each batch built confidence, skill, momentum. Within a year, he had a stall at a market. Momentum made action his habit. Your system is your engine. Start it small. Let it grow. What's one action that can build your momentum? Take it today. Systems also free your mind. When action is automatic, you don't waste energy deciding whether to act. A woman I knew wanted to get fit, but hated planning workouts. She built a system. Same gym class, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. No decisions, just showing up. That freed her to focus on her career, where she landed a promotion. Systems take the guesswork out of success. What's one decision you can make automatic? Set it up this week. Now let's address perfectionism. Systems aren't about being flawless. They're about progress. Your first attempt at a routine might be messy. That's fine. A man I met wanted to write a blog. He started with a system, 1 paragraph every morning. Some days it was terrible, but he kept going, refining as he went. Now he's got thousands of readers. Don't wait for the perfect system. Start messy, improve later. What's one imperfect action you can start today? Do it and let it evolve. Here's another truth. Systems build identity. Every time you follow your routine, you're voting for who you want to be. Want to be a writer? Your system writing one sentence a day makes you a writer. Want to be healthy? Your system walking 10 minutes daily makes you healthy. A friend of mine wanted to be a chef. His system was cooking one new recipe a week. Each dish made him more of a chef. Today he owns a restaurant. Your system shapes who you are. What identity are you building? Start voting for it now. Let's end with this. Systems are your bridge from clarity to results. Your why gives you purpose, but systems give you progress. They take your discipline, your courage, your clarity, and turn them into a life you're proud of. So build your system. Make it small. Make it simple. Make it yours. Start today, because momentum doesn't wait. But systems alone aren't enough. You need accountability, urgency, someone or something to keep you honest. That's where we're headed next, making sure you seize the moment and never let it slip. What's the cost of waiting? Think about it. Every moment you delay, every chance you let slip, what are you losing? You've built discipline, faced your fears, found your why, and created systems to keep you moving. But without accountability and urgency, all of that can stall. Action isn't just about planning. It's about seizing the moment, right now, and making sure you follow through. Accountability is the mirror that shows you your commitment. Urgency is the fire that pushes you to act before it's too late. Together, they force you to take the leap and never look back.
Let's start with a question. Who's holding you accountable for your goals? Raise your hand if you've got someone, a friend, a mentor, even yourself, who checks in to make sure you're doing what you said you'd do. Come on, be honest. If your hand's not up, you're missing a key piece of the puzzle. Accountability isn't about shame, it's about support. It's someone or something that keeps you honest, that reminds you of your why when the couch looks more inviting than your goals. Urgency, on the other hand, is the spark that says, do it now because tomorrow isn't promised. Combine them, and you've got a formula for unstoppable action. Accountability starts with people. Think of a weightlifter. She doesn't train alone. She's got a coach, a team, spotting her, pushing her to lift heavier. You need that too. A woman I knew wanted to start a catering business. She had the systems, recipes tested, menus planned, but she kept procrastinating on launching. She told a friend her goal and asked her to check in weekly. Those check-ins were her lifeline. If she slacked, her friend called her out. If she progressed, her friend celebrated. That accountability turned her dream into a thriving business. Who's your accountability partner? Pick someone today, a friend, a colleague, someone who won't let you slide. But accountability isn't just external. You can hold yourself accountable too. Set clear stakes. A man I met wanted to write a book but kept putting it off. He made a promise to himself. If he didn't write 500 words a day, he'd donate $50 to a cause he didn't like. That self-imposed consequence kept him writing. Within a year, he had a manuscript. What's a stake you can set for yourself? It doesn't have to be money. Maybe it's skipping a favorite treat or doing an extra chore. Make it real, make it sting, and watch how fast you act. Here's another tool. Public commitments. Tell the world what you're doing. Not to brag, but to lock yourself in. A student I knew wanted to run a 5K but struggled with consistency. He announced his goal to his family, promising to run it in 3 months. That public promise lit a fire under him. He trained, showed up, and crossed the finish line, family cheering. The fear of letting them down was stronger than his fear of failing. What can you commit to publicly? Tell someone your goal today. Make it real. Urgency is the other half of this equation. It's the understanding that time is finite. Every day you wait is a day you don't get back. A businessman I knew had a dream to open a gym. He kept saying, next year when things settle down, but life never settles. One day he got a wake-up call, a health scare. It hit him, if not now, when he leased a space, started small, and within 2 years his gym was packed. Urgency turned his someday into today. What's your wake-up call? Don't wait for a crisis. Create urgency now. How do you build urgency? Deadlines are a start. Set a date and make it non-negotiable. A woman I met wanted to launch a bakery. She kept delaying, waiting for the perfect moment. Then she set a deadline. Open by her birthday. That date became her North Star. She hustled, found a space, tested recipes, spread the word.
On her birthday, she cut the ribbon on her shop. Deadlines create pressure, and pressure creates action. What's a deadline you can set for your goal? Pick a date this week and commit. Another way to spark urgency is to visualize the cost of inaction. Close your eyes and think, where will you be in a year if you don't act? A man I knew wanted to learn Spanish to connect with his in-laws. He kept putting it off, thinking he had time. Then he pictured missing out on conversations, feeling distant at family gatherings. That vision hurt more than the effort of learning. He started lessons, practiced daily, and a year later, he was joking with his in-laws in their language. What's the cost of your delay? Make it vivid. Let it push you. Accountability and urgency work together like a hammer and nail. Accountability keeps you honest. Urgency keeps you moving. A young artist I knew wanted to sell her paintings. She had talent but froze, afraid of rejection. She joined an art group that required monthly submissions. That accountability forced her to create. Then she set a goal: enter a local art show in 6 months. The urgency made her paint every weekend. Her work sold out at the show. The group held her accountable. The deadline gave her urgency. What's your hammer and nail? Find a group, set a goal, and start. Let's get practical. Here's a system for accountability: the progress check-in. Once a week, meet with your partner or write a journal entry. Answer 3 questions. What did I do this week? What worked? What's next? A friend of mine wanted to get fit. He and his brother met every Sunday to review their workouts. They'd share wins, admit slip-ups, and plan the next week. Those check-ins kept him on track. He lost 30 pounds in a year. Regular check-ins build momentum. How will you track your progress? Set a weekly check-in starting this Sunday. Another tool, the accountability contract. Write a promise to yourself or someone else. State your goal, your deadline, and a consequence for failing. Sign it. A woman I knew wanted to save $5,000. She wrote a contract: save $5,000 by year end, or no new clothes for 6 months. She shared it with her sister. The contract was her vow, the consequence her motivator. She hit her goal with a month to spare. What's your contract? Write it tonight. Sign it. Share it. Urgency needs triggers too. Create reminders that scream, act now. A man I met wanted to start a podcast. He kept delaying, waiting for confidence. He set an alarm on his phone: record today or regret tomorrow. Every morning it buzzed, pushing him to act. He recorded his first episode a week later. Now he's got thousands of listeners. What's your trigger? Set a daily reminder. Make it bold. Make it urgent. But let's be real. Accountability and urgency can feel heavy. You might worry about letting people down or failing under pressure. That's okay. The point isn't perfection. It's progress. A student I knew committed to a public speech competition. She was terrified, but told her class she'd do it. The pressure was intense, but her teacher checked in weekly, keeping her focused. She didn't win, but she spoke confidently and grew. The accountability and deadline pushed her further than she thought possible. What pressure can you embrace? Lean into it. It's your growth. Here's a challenge. Find an accountability partner by tomorrow. Tell them your goal and ask them to check in weekly. Then set a deadline, 1 month from today, to complete one big step toward your goal. A woman I knew did this to launch a tutoring business. She partnered with a friend and set a date to tutor her first student. The check-ins kept her honest. The deadline kept her moving. She's now tutoring full-time. Your partner and deadline are your push. Start them now. Let's talk about community. Accountability thrives in groups. Join a class, a club, a mastermind. A man I met wanted to grow his consulting firm. He joined a business group that met monthly to share goals and results. The group's expectations drove him to act. He landed 3 big clients in 6 months. Communities amplify accountability. What group can you join? Find one this week and commit. Urgency also comes from scarcity. Remind yourself, opportunities fade. A woman I knew wanted to apply for a promotion. She hesitated, thinking she had time. Then she heard the role might close early. That scarcity lit a fire. She submitted her application that week and got the job. Scarcity creates urgency. What opportunity might you lose? Act before it's gone. Now let's address excuses. You might say, I don't need accountability. I'm self-motivated, or I'll act when I'm ready. Those are traps. Even the best need support. A marathon runner I knew was disciplined, but hit a plateau. He joined a running club, and their pace pushed him to a personal best. Urgency came from racing the clock. You're not above accountability, and ready never comes. What excuse are you hiding behind? Drop it and act. Here's another tool, the urgency journal. Every night, write one thing you must do tomorrow to move your goal forward. Add a deadline, say noon. A man I knew wanted to publish articles. He wrote, submit one article by 10 a.m. each night. That daily urgency led to 50 published pieces in a year. Your journal is your daily fire. What will you write tonight? Start it. Set a time. Do it. Accountability and urgency reshape your identity. Every check-in, every deadline net says, this is who I am. A woman I knew wanted to be a yoga instructor. She told her students she'd certify in 6 months. Weekly check-ins with her mentor and a hard deadline kept her studying. She's now teaching packed classes. Her actions defined her. Who are you becoming? Let accountability and urgency shape you. Let's talk failure. Sometimes you'll miss a deadline or slip on a commitment. That's not the end. It's data. A man I knew promised to launch a product by summer. He missed the date, but his accountability partner helped him analyze why. He adjusted, relaunched in fall, and sold out. Failure with accountability breeds growth. What will you learn from your next slip? Use it to act smarter. Here's a final challenge. Tonight, write your accountability plan. Name your partner, your weekly check-in time, and one urgent deadline for this month. Share it with someone. A student I knew did this to ace a tough course. He paired with a classmate, checked in Fridays, and set a date to finish a project. He got an A. Your plan is your promise. Write it. Live it. As we close, remember, accountability and urgency are your final push. Discipline lays the bricks. Courage breaks the walls. Clarity lights the path. Systems build the momentum. But accountability and urgency make you act. Now, no excuses. You've got everything you need to seize this moment. The question is, will you? Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't hope for motivation. Take one step today. Call your partner. Set your deadline. Make your move. Because this moment, right now, is yours. Grab it and build the life you're meant for.